Well, hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
Hola.
Long time. Bonjour.
Bonjour, hola.
How many other languages?
Ni hao.
Hola, but Portuguese.
Portuguese is
Hola, but kind
something
of
about
hola.
something about.
No, it is still hola.
No, I don't think
It is. It's OLA.
Oh. There's another word, obrigado. What does that mean?
Oh, good afternoon, maybe.
Obrigado.
And German. Guten Tag.
Guten Tag. Yes.
I think that's goodbye. Brilliant. Anyway, hello.
We are
Hello.
bilingual, trilingual.
Hello. Okay, guys, I want to kick this episode off by asking Soph a question.
Oh, straight in.
Yeah. Just reflecting on the week. What are you most grateful for this week? Oh, lovely.
That's such a
Wholesome.
nice question.
We've been going in on the gratefulness content a little bit.
Yeah.
On
It's
our
always
Instagram.
good, though,
It's
to
always
remember.
good. It's just always good to remember what we're grateful for, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Because, guys, it shifts that mood from being... Your mood could be a 1 and it could go to a 2 if you remember what you're grateful for.
Exactly.
So what are you grateful for
What
this
am I
week?
grateful for? I am grateful for, I think, just kind of the community and friendships in my life. Even just like Rach came around for dinner with Steph and Ash, who I live with.
Mm-hmm.
And it was kind of
Her
just
house parents.
my house parents. It's kind of just like a nice, I was going to say worlds collide. It wasn't worlds collide. It was more though just like...
We are kind of in the same world,
some of
but yeah.
the people that I'm like journeying life closely with, hanging out
all
together.
in one space.
And yeah, just like, I've got some really great people in my life. Feeling very blessed. What about you?
Too blessed to be stressed.
And had cake in the office this week.
Oh, of course. Could not include that.
Yeah.
Come on. What cake?
Chocolate Guinness cake.
Oh.
Honestly. At where I work, a cake is lasting one day. It's honest. It's actually stressful because
How many slices do you
the
have?
cake goes so... I only had one.
Oh, okay.
The cake goes so quickly because
Everyone loves it.
the people love a bit of food at where I work. But it's like genuinely, I'm getting stressed because I've seen the cake come out and I'm like, I don't want a piece yet, but like I feel like I need to eat it because if I go down in an hour, it might all be gone. It's
so
every
what did
man
you
for
do?
themselves.
Take it, but just
No, thankfully when I went down for my lunch and I wanted a piece of
thankfully.
cake, there was still at least
that's
half
good,
of the
isn't
cake
it?
left. But you never know. You never know.
Yeah, to be fair, at work, when there is some kind of event on and there's leftover food, it is just a brilliant day.
Yeah.
Like, you
Food
walk into the
equals
kitchen,
happiness.
there's leftover sandwiches. To be honest, they are usually a bit gross, but, you know, free food,
Food is
so you
food.
got to take it. For me...
For me?
No, probably a similar vibe of friendships and no, I was trying to think just people being kind. I've had quite a busy week at work and I think there were many moments where colleagues who are also friends just stepped in to help me out of the kindness of their heart. Like, you know, when you're just like...
You don't have to do that.
You're stressed and all you need is just some help and people don't need to help you, but they do. And that really helped me this week. I was very grateful for that. And I think, just good times with friends, you know. But I think that's interesting, isn't it? That even both of us are like, oh yeah, friendships, like, or people, because it just really shows you what matters in life.
It really does.
No, but I do think like so often it's like you get caught up on, like, you know, when you find yourself stressing about something that realistically, when you zoom out,
grand scheme of life,
it just doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And I've like had that even, sorry, it's a bit of a tangent now, but even with like hearing about people who are ill at the moment or like friends, parents who are like ill or struggling. And you know, when you're like, you know, for them, obviously their whole world is turned upside down and it's like, no, that is all that matters. Like, it's so cringe, but like just family, friendships, relationships, that's the important part of life, isn't it?
Absolutely.
motivational speech over.
Come on.
Thank you guys. Hope you
Preach
enjoyed
it, girl.
that. Today's episode.
Today's ep.
It's another good one.
It is another
we do
good
say
one.
that about every episode, but
Yeah.
Today we are going to be looking
At
It's Not Just You
who struggles to celebrate your friends' successes.
Ooh.
Plural. Yes.
I'd like to think it's not just us that fall into this category.
Yeah, I mean,
come on, guys.
I think-
Anyone else?
Can I get a name in?
Anyone else?
I think it's, something that I would say there's no one on this planet, bold claim.
Ooh.
I would say there's no one on this
Ooh.
planet that's...
There's not one person
I just don't think
on
it's...
this planet.
I just don't think so. I would say that most people in the world have had a moment where a friend has got that job promotion,
Ooh.
got into a relationship,
Ooh.
pay rise,
Ooh.
opportunity,
New home.
whatever it is, and you're
New
just
pet.
there thinking,
New clothes.
that should be me, holding your hand. To quote Justin Bieber.
What's that song?
That should be me, holding your hand. That should be me, making you laugh.
Don't know that.
That should
But what I would
be
like to say
me.
is Sophie's grade.
This is so sad.
What, grade 7 on singing?
Yeah.
So
I know
it's-
you probably couldn't tell.
Maybe at some point in the podcast,
That
obviously we are
should be
using
me,
mics.
holding
could-
your hand.
Okay. Oh, we're done. Okay.
Guys, surely people know that song. I can't believe they know that song.
I think we should at some point just have you seriously sing like 1-2 lines of a song.
I'm gonna say no.
Guys, like this podcast if you'd like to so sing. No. What were we saying?
We were saying that most people will have experienced that feeling of friend gets something,
Yes.
you're
Yes.
not 100% happy, or you're
Yeah.
feeling a bit jealous.
And let's be honest, guys, this one is quite a tricky one to admit because
Mm.
I think jealousy as an emotion on the whole, it's just a bit of a gross emotion.
Yeah.
It is.
Disgusting.
And it's also quite gross to admit that you're feeling jealous because it's just, well, I guess it's just horrible, isn't
Yeah,
it? Because jealousy is like an emotion you feel when actually you want to be feeling happy for someone, or most of the time you would like to be feeling happy. And it's almost like this kind of weird emotion that comes up that you're like, oh, I wish I wasn't feeling it, but like can really affect you.
Yeah. And I think it's often feels very, because I'm trying to think of other maybe more negative emotions or emotions that would have like negative connotations, like angry.
Do you know what it is?
What?
I think it's because those emotions often feel more justified.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I think.
Sorry, took the words
Well,
out of
no,
your mouth.
I think it's more that something like angry, you can there can often be this thing made me feel angry, and people can see, yeah, fair enough, that is a valid reason. Whereas I often think jealousy is a bit more nuanced.
Sorry.
Ooh, okay.
Sorry, big word.
Okay.
Nuance. That's such a weird word.
Do you know what? It's subjective.
Yeah, yeah.
Like one thing
Nuance.
that would make one person jealous, another person could be like, what?
Yeah. Like, why are you jealous?
Whereas,
about
oh, this thing made me
Yeah.
sad.
that? Yeah. And also, like I say, it's often you feel that emotion when, you know, you would like to be feeling the opposite emotion. Like you never really want to feel jealous.
No.
Like you want to be able to be secure essentially
yeah.
and like be happy for your friends when they're, you know, hanging out with other people or
Yeah.
achieving things, and not be there like, I think people call it like the green-eyed monster
Yeah.
or something. Oh, you're in green today. Feeling a little
Ooh.
jealous, are we?
Maybe I've just done this as a subliminal message.
Oh gosh.
I think, and I also think that jealousy, I'm jealous of the rain.
Right,
All the
you.
jealous songs. I
We get it.
still
You're a
get
singer.
jealous.
Okay, stop. Yeah.
Okay. Jealousy is basically admitting that you're insecure.
Yeah.
When you actually think about it,
Yeah.
to admit that you're jealous about something
Yeah.
is, like you were
To
saying
admit,
earlier,
yeah.
I'm not 100% secure in this thing, so that's why I feel jealous.
And that feels very vulnerable to admit.
Yeah.
And like you're never gonna really want to
Yeah.
admit that, are
I
you?
think if you-
I'm insecure, guys. Me.
Me? Insecure. That's me. I think that's it. It's like with most other emotions, they can kind of be almost a bit surface level of anger, sad, it can be almost linked to whatever's
the situation,
what's going on. Whereas I feel like if you were to go like, oh, I'm jealous of this person because of this thing, it suddenly becomes this really deep, like, do we need to like unpack that?
The reality is that all emotions are probably rooted in something deeper, like anger or whatever our reactions to things are. But
no,
like,
because you could have like, oh, I got a parking ticket, I'm angry.
Okay,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah, true. Like they don't.
Someone
have to be
slapped me
deep.
around the face. I'm angry.
Whereas, I like you say though, I just can't even remember the last time I heard someone actively choose to say,
how are you feeling today? Jealous.
Like this person, like, they just like got a promotion at work. I'm so jealous. Like, I don't know. Or like people would say it in like a,
or isn't it like even like a
jokey way.
I'm so jealous of going on holiday.
Yeah. And it's like, that's not actually that deep, but like when it's suddenly like, this person spent way too much time with this person I feel really jealous about. It's like, but I do feel like what would you say? So like when for you, have you had scenarios of where, or like what has triggered you to make you feel jealous or struggle to celebrate a friend's success?
I think when I was thinking about it, the main thing that would trigger me to then struggle to celebrate a friend, it would be if they got something. I mean, it sounds so obvious. If they got something that I wanted.
Yes.
And so I guess what I'm trying to say by that is it's not just the general thing of, say, oh, you got a new job. Woohoo. Like if that job's in, they're going to become a plumber. Sick. I don't want to be a plumber. So
I don't want to.
Let's have a party.
100%.
Whereas if it was, I've just got a job as a youth worker. Ooh, that's what I want to do.
Ooh, now I'm going to struggle to celebrate
competition time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who's the better youth worker?
Yeah.
Let's put it to the test.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean though?
Yeah.
That's like a stupid example, but essentially I think when I was really thinking about it, it was never in situations where it wasn't something that I wanted. It wasn't just generically, you're moving house to this place where I don't want to live. Cool. Like,
yeah. And I guess alongside that, I think also when two friends or two people or whatever are all in the same scenario, or there's a lot of crossovers or similarities in their lives, or what, like you say, what they're wanting to do or where they're going, that can make it again way harder to celebrate them, because you're like, there's direct comparisons, if that makes sense. So if two people are like, super close, but like you say, almost doing completely different things, or their lives just don't really overcross in the same way, like it's easier to just celebrate them. So like, for example, I think like in our friendship, one of the times I like would struggle with that was when we were doing like the same internship.
Yeah.
And it was like, basically, like you say, we're in the same work context, we're working with the same people, and obviously there are like small differences, but like, and therefore like we're both kind of, I guess, wanting the same things or moving towards doing the same things, or to be honest, sometimes not even like wanting, but then like if one of you is doing certain things, you're then like, oh, what about me? Like the emotion is always, what about me? And I would say that's what I notice with like, when it comes to struggling to celebrate your friends, often it's because I think when a friend tells you something that is amazing news for them, weirdly, the first almost like instinctive, like low-key, like animalistic reaction that you have is, what about me?
Yeah.
And even if you don't acknowledge that, or it's not like super obvious in your head, I do think for some reason that is like your human instinct, oh, they're doing really well. And I don't know, maybe it does, I don't know, like I guess maybe it's part of the way humans are wired to want to be like, achieving and doing things well and having a great life, and then someone gets something that's amazing, and for some reason that gut instinct is like, what about me? And then all the other emotions of like, that's sick for them.
Yeah.
But that is kind of like a gross thing to think.
But I think, like you said, I think there's, on a basic human level, we're wired for like survival.
Yes.
So it's almost the thing of, if I'm looking at on a very, very basic level as at every situation as how can I survive or thrive in this situation, automatically your mind kind of can just view everyone as competition because it's almost that kind of survival dog eat dog kind of thing of, oh, if they're getting this thing, then that's going to leave less for me, or you want to protect what you have or try and build just what you have. And if they're getting that thing or that opportunity, then that takes away from the stuff that I could get. And I'm trying to like build my own life, my own world up. And I mean, I guess that's more specific to if you were in, let's say, the same workplace. Let's say you're in the same workplace as someone and it is something, like a pay rise or a promotion. You're then like, well, then there's not space for, I think often, it's actually not the case, but often our mind goes to, well, then there's not going to be space for me to have a promotion now because you've just got it.
Yeah, literally. Which is just kind of, I don't know, it's not.
I'd say as humans, fundamentally, we're just quite selfish.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's it. And like, obviously being selfish is just sometimes, it's never really great, is it?
No.
Or I don't know. There's obviously times
some people
where you
would
need
say
to,
that being selfish is what you have to do in life. Be selfish, think about yourself. But I would just personally say that's not actually very life-giving to walk around with that mentality.
Well, yeah, it's like even if we just take this example, like your friend tells them, your friend tells you that they've got a promotion. Like, you can either react like bitterly. Or you can like try and genuinely be happy for them. I know like 9 times out of 10, if I actually genuinely try and be happy for them and rationalize things in my head, that's going to make me way better than, make me feel way better than if I was being bitter.
Yeah. But it's so difficult because I think there's certain situations and professions and just, I don't know, I guess depending on your job and how your life's set up where it is a bit more like that. Like, I don't even know why it just came into my mind. Let's say you're an actress and it is like, there's one role.
Yeah.
There's one role. And
that's hard.
Or like if you're in, like kind of the business world. I don't know. I think there's some situations that lend themselves more to creating that, like put other people down, focus on yourself. And so then if someone else gets something, you're like, that should have been me. Why didn't I get that? And I think I personally don't think I'm in tons of environments that are like that. But I'd say overall, when I've experienced those feelings of, I'm struggling to celebrate, it is because the other person, my friend, has got something that I would quite like.
What's like an example of a time you were like really triggered?
One that just came to mind was, again, when we were on this intern year together.
The intern, yeah.
Do you know what? I think it's kind of summed up with what we were talking about earlier of when you're in the same space as a person and it just feels as though there's competition or you're going after the same things. But it actually wasn't to do with the internship. We were doing this internship for free. So alongside it needed to find work. And it's COVID, there's like no jobs. But yeah, it was just I wanted to find a job and I just couldn't find a job because and I was like, I'm not being paid. How am I gonna live?
I can't afford
anything. And you had just got a job doing some kind of comm stuff for one of our friends, and you had a few comms kind of freelancey.
Yeah, well, there was just a season where it was like out of nowhere came like a few different ways to earn money through doing comms.
Yeah. And I think it was, I guess, that very classic example of I'm trying to find a job and I can't find anything, and you've got like people asking you left, right and centre to do work and offering you jobs and
and I remember
like, yay. But what about me?
And I think obviously it's like, again, in these situations, like the other person is probably aware, like I was aware obviously of the fact that Sophie's looking for a job. We both were. So then there's also awkwardness, I guess, kind of on my part of like, obviously like in the grand scheme of things, it's not that like difficult, but like still like wanting to approach it kind of like, oh, I actually do feel a bit awkward about saying like, oh, this other person's offered me a job.
Yeah.
When it's like, yeah, I've already got one and I know you're looking for one. So I think I remember being like, oh yeah, I also just want to acknowledge like, obviously you are like, sometimes it's just like naming the elephant in the room. Like, yeah, it is quite awkward to come to you and say, yeah, I've got another job when you're looking for a job.
I've got
like,
0 jobs.
And then, yeah, I think we were just like, yeah, like.
We just chatted about it, but it wasn't super deep.
No.
I think it definitely made it easier, the fact that we had this acknowledging conversation.
Yeah.
So it wasn't kind of, Rach, oh my gosh, Soph, I've got another job. And I'm like, yay.
Yeah.
And then it just had to, and then for the rest of however long, just kind of being a bit bitter and a bit off.
But also the reality is like, you did then go on to find a way to earn money. Eventually.
OnlyFans. I'm joking.
No, but like, and I think that again sums up these kind of situations quite well, because the reality is, did you stay unemployed? No. Like, you eventually found a job.
Yeah.
And it's like that thing of, I think often, like we're saying, when your friends do something well or get something, your first thought is, what about me? But I think like you just have to try and remember, like, just because your friends get something doesn't mean you're never going to get that thing.
Yeah.
Like, the reality is that you probably will.
Yeah.
And it could even be pretty quickly after them, or like same thing with like, I don't know, a promotion or just anything that you're wanting. Just because someone else gets it doesn't mean that you don't.
Yeah.
Like, you will have opportunities too. It might be a few weeks later and then, you know, you're getting something that your friend really wants. So it's like life swings in roundabouts.
Yeah.
And it's like, when it's so easy to just go down this hole of like, they've got this and this and I really want this. And like, it is easier said than done, because when you're really wanting something, like, it can feel overwhelming. But you've just got to remember, like, just because someone else gets something doesn't mean I don't get it.
Yeah.
Like,
and I think I've struggled still now sometimes with that mentality of almost as if there's a set number of things in existence or in the world. And so if they get one of those, then there's a less chance that I'm going to get the same thing or a similar thing. And like I said, maybe there's a few niche situations where that is actually the case of there's a set amount of things and there's a set amount of people that will get them. But I guess looking bigger picture, that's maybe that's one moment or one opportunity. But like you were saying, I'm sure later down the line, there'll be opportunities still for you to get or things that, you know, where you thought, oh, now I haven't got that thing, I'll never get it. You do.
Yeah. And also the flip side is you might not. And in that, it's remembering like we live different lives.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, like you might end up with completely different things that you love or like, again, like we were saying, like, I guess something like an intern year was quite triggering because it was like we were being compared. And in some ways you feel like you're living the same thing, but you're not. Like you're two different people. You're different to your friends. You've got different skills, different strengths, like, and therefore your lives aren't going to look the same.
Yeah. And even like you say, even though that year for us we were very much in the same space, if you kind of look at where from that point our lives have gone, I'd say each year it's almost getting further and further apart in terms of the stuff we're doing for work or the things we're realizing we're passionate about. Like it almost was like very close then, and then we still then worked at the same place but in quite different roles. And then like I stopped working there, you carried on. So I think also it's that thing of, you know, you start comparing yourself to people or in situations and you actually don't want it. Like in that moment, it's like, I don't want to do comms. For
like I just want it
job.
because they've got it.
Yeah.
Like,
or just because it's a thing that they are, I don't know, being recognized for. Like they're getting recognition for doing something, or that they have skills in this area. And it's not necessarily that you want that exact thing, but you almost want the recognition or the affirmation or, you know, attention, whatever it is. It's not necessarily like
so
I was
true.
there, I wish I had a comms job doing social media managing.
Like you actually take a minute to stop and be like, do I even want that? No.
Like, so why don't I just get on and actually celebrate them? Stop being an idiot.
Get on and say well done. Yeah, no. But it can be hard. And I think we've also all been there where it's like you're just smiling through gritted teeth. But like if you can just find it in yourself to like try and genuinely celebrate someone, you can then go away and actually think about it and like take it in. And like, do you know what I mean? But like in the moment, I don't know. There's just nothing worse as well where it's like you going to tell a friend something and you can just tell they're just not that happy for you. Like,
thanks.
But then it's really hard where if you are feeling insecure, it's like, how do you?
Yeah. I would say something that's been quite big in helping me is like with that person, like let's say you came and shared some news with me and I was finding it hard to process that. It's like in the I guess almost knowing that I can go away and process this thing either on my own or with another friend. But right now, I just need to try and be happy for you. And almost with that in mind I'm going to have a chance to process and talk about this. And maybe even with you or the person that it's about in the future. Right now, my job is just to be happy and just trusting that you will have space to process and chat about it later on.
Like almost stop all those thoughts going to that place.
Like I don't need those thoughts now. Yeah. They're there.
Yeah.
And it's the right thing to process and unpack them and acknowledge them. But right now, it's just not the time. Right now,
this is not the time.
Get back.
Fix the smile on your face and say, well done, okay?
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
I am so happy for you, honestly.
Yeah, just practice that in the mirror at home.
No, you don't want to be fake, but like the reality is there will be part of you that's really happy for your friends thriving. Yeah. So you've just got to dig into that. Dig deep and find the happiness. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? But yeah. Guys,
any other things though that you can think of?
I don't think so. I think this one is quite simple in the sense of like just acknowledging, it can be hard to celebrate your friends, but the reality is you want to be able to, even in the moment you can't do that. Yeah. You can push through.
Yeah. One last thing though I would say is like in this kind of example that we were saying about between us, I think one thing that is actually really good is being able to acknowledge or like in the moment have that open conversation of, no, I am genuinely happy for you, but I am also at the same time struggling with these feelings. Because I think that then almost doesn't take away from the fact, do you know what I mean? It doesn't take away from the fact that you're happy, but it also maybe if their reaction isn't exactly as you thought it would be, you can just have that open conversation and it's not like, oh, they were just a bit of...
I think that almost, basically depends on how you are in the scenario. Like if it's like someone tells you something and you literally can't find it in yourself to like, you know, come across genuine, then like, you probably do need to just acknowledge why you're feeling like that. But like, it's just that tricky balance, isn't it? Of like, also like, it's just good to celebrate your friends and like push through and be like, this might not be the time to acknowledge that. And like, do you know what I mean? It's almost like
it's
reading
not about
the room.
Me in that moment.
Yeah. But then equally, it's like, if you're really struggling, it's going to be obvious anyway. But like, yeah. Oh, it's a challenge, guys. It's a challenge.
It is hard. But I think, like we're saying at the start, in a non-good way, but in a very natural way, humans, I think, are just fundamentally quite selfish. So I think the more that we can do to almost push that aside and actually be like, do you know what? This moment isn't about me. It's about them. And I'm actually just gonna not let the selfishness overtake them in this moment. Yeah. Like it's actually just not about me right now.
Amen, sister.
Well, there you have it.
There we go, guys. Another episode done.
Yes.
Hopefully, like if you're listening to this and you're like, do you know what? I just find that so hard. Hopefully this helped a little bit. Yeah. Or
we'd love to hear your thoughts if you send us a DM, messages. We're interested to know how you find these things.
Intriguing.
But we'll leave it there.
We'll leave it there, guys. And we'll see you in our next episode.
Yes, we will. Have a great week, guys. Bye.
Bye.